Hey everyone, welcome back to Sham's Makeup. Today I'm actually going to review another foundation for you guys. If you do not know me already, my name is Shamala, and if you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe to my channel. So I personally love trying out new foundations. Whenever there's new foundations that are out there, I love to get them and then try them out. There's nothing like giving you a good base before you put on your makeup. So I'm definitely a foundation freak. So today we are going to look at the Colourpop Pretty Fresh Foundation. This foundation retails at $16, which is an affordable price point, and there are 42 shades available in this particular foundation range. This brand actually came out with their Tinted Moisturiser before they came out with a Pretty Fresh Foundation. So I personally have not tried out their Tinted Moisturiser. I am a fan of Tinted Moisturiser. So after trying out this foundation, it definitely makes me wanting to try their Tinted Moisturiser as well. So I'll keep you guys updated on that. Let's get back to the foundation. So this foundation does say that it's an hydrating foundation. It contains hyaluronic acid and it also contains coconut water. Hyaluronic acid is known to hydrate and support healthy looking skin. And when it comes to coconut water, it's known to support hydration and skin softness. So this foundation is a 30 ml of product, which is 1 fluid ounce, and it also says that it's ideal for all skin type. I do have a combination to dry skin, but my skin tend to get oily on my T-zone area, especially when the weather is a little bit more humid outside. The foundation does come with a pump, and you can see the foundation is already out there because I'm trying it out. It's a very simple packaging. It's a plastic packaging. I personally feel that the packaging looks very eco-friendly and it's pretty easy to travel with, so that's a plus point. Again, when a foundation comes with a wide range of shades, it kind of like gives me the positivity that someone out there could be able to find their shade. So I do have like a talk through demo of myself applying this foundation with a beauty blender and also a face brush. Let's take a look at that, and then I'll come back and share my final verdict on the Pretty Fresh foundation from Colourpop. So let's very quickly take a look at this packaging, and this is how it looks like. It comes in a plastic bottle, which is very handy. It's very light, very simple packaging. I personally feel like it looks very eco-friendly. So it does come with a pump, which is a plus point for any foundation, because when a foundation comes with a pump, it's much more easy. It doesn't get that messy for you to like work with it. So I've already applied my face primer. So I used my Tatcha Silk Canvas face primer. So usually when I do my foundation reviews, I tend to apply my face primer as well, because that's how I apply my face makeup. So Tatcha Silk Canvas is something that I always go to. It's kind of my favorite one. So on the box, it does say that it's dermatologist tested, it's oil free, it's vegan and cruelty free, and it's made in the US. So I do have a combination to dry skin, if you do not know already. I always like foundations that look a little bit glowy on myself, but when the weather is humid and it's still hot out there, I tend to get a little bit more oily. So I have been trying out this foundation for a good 2 weeks right now. This is how the foundation looks at the back of my hand. So it's pretty runny. It's not like thick in consistency. So I'm going to use my Real Techniques brush with it. I'm just going to dab the brush. And what I noticed with this foundation is if you tend to just rub it on your skin like any other foundation, it leaves a very streaky look to the skin. So I kind of prefer to dab this foundation in. So you can see that it does have a little bit of redness in the foundation, but it pretty much works well with my skin tone once I blend it in. So on this side, I'm actually going to use my brush. So this is a good handful of like 1.5 to 2 pumps. So on this side of my face, I do not have anything yet, and on this side, I've already blended in the foundation. For my skin, I personally feel that it gives a pretty good coverage, and it does have like a sheen to your face. It doesn't wear matte on the skin. Okay, now on this side, let's do the beauty blender. So I'm just gonna pat it in so you can see the product actually gets soaked in with the beauty blender. I personally feel like both the sides look pretty good. The only difference with the brush is it gives you a little bit more coverage, and on the beauty blender side it kind of looks a little bit more natural, like you can still see your skin through. So I'm just gonna take a little bit more, and I'm just gonna take my beauty blender to see if I can add in on this side of my face. It does look really beautiful with the beauty blender. It looks like everything is blended in pretty well. So I'm just going to like dab my beauty blender on this side too, just to even it out. Like I've mentioned earlier, using the brush, it leaves like a streaky line. So I personally prefer the beauty blender with it, although it's soaking up the product. So personally, what I like to do with this foundation is I like to like dab it in with a brush and then blend it in with the beauty blender, so that the foundation does sink in pretty well into the skin and it doesn't sit on the top of the skin. So this is how pretty much the foundation looks like on my skin, if you guys can see. And I'm just gonna blend a little bit more on my neck area. So this is how the foundation looks like once I've applied onto my skin. I do not have any other makeup over my face area. So pretty much it does look very natural on the skin. It looks like you have a very clear looking skin. So do you think I like this foundation? I will come back and give you guys my thoughts on it. I'm just going to finish my entire face makeup. So this is how the foundation looks like once I've applied my entire face makeup. I kept it pretty simple today, and I did try out the new Colourpop. This is their Wild Nothing eyeshadow palette. So this is pretty neutral. So I definitely wanted to check this out because I wanted to see if this does work on my deeper skin tone, my brown skin tone. So I will probably share my opinion with you guys in my next video. Now coming back to the foundation. The Pretty Fresh foundation, it does claim that it's an hyaluronic hydrating foundation. When it comes to hydrating foundation, so having a combination to dry skin, I personally feel that this particular foundation would not work for all skin types. It does claim that it works for all skin types. So in my opinion, during the humid weather, this foundation would not wear well on oily skin girls. It will stay on your skin, like I do have like a combination to dry skin. It lasts on my skin pretty well. The foundation does not like wash away from my face after a couple of hours. It stays put on my face for the entire 9 hours that I wear on my skin. The only problem that I personally faced having a combination to dry skin, again I would like to emphasize on that, my skin is combination to dry. Even though I do have a combination to dry skin, this particular foundation still feels tacky over my skin. It feels that when I touch my face, the foundation does get on my fingers. So this foundation doesn't really sink into your skin, and it makes you feel like you do not have anything over your skin. There are foundations which makes you feel that you have nothing over your skin, but with this Pretty Fresh foundation by Colourpop, I do feel that I have something over my skin, and I end up like, you know, like just touching my face all the time because it's pretty tacky. Although I've already set it with a translucent powder, it still feels tacky after you have applied it. Although I set this foundation with a translucent powder, I used my Shiseido, this is their Synchro Skin setting powder. So I kind of pressed it in on my skin with a powder brush because I felt that this particular foundation needs a little bit more setting with a powder so that it can hold it pretty well. Yet the foundation still feels tacky. Like over the hours that I've worn it over my skin, I still feel that the foundation remains tacky. So this foundation doesn't really dry on your skin. Like, it still feels tacky for the 9 hours that I've applied on my skin, if that does make sense. So for me, I personally feel that for oily skin girls, you have to work a little bit more harder for it to feel comfortable on the skin. As much as I feel that this foundation feels tacky on the skin, the plus point was the foundation did not move, did not it did not get washed away along the hours that I've worn over my face area. The foundation remained beautiful throughout the hours that I've worn the foundation over my face area. So that's a plus point. The only thing I felt was it was tacky on my skin. It was kind of oily on my T-zone area. I was a little bit more shiny than usual. So I did feel that, like its claim, it's an hyaluronic hydrating foundation. It does hydrate the skin pretty well. It makes your skin look very pretty. It makes your skin look very fresh, just like its name. But the only thing is, for oily skin girls, I would not recommend this foundation. I would say that you probably would love this foundation during the colder months when the skin is a little bit more dehydrated or dry. This foundation would wear beautifully on your skin. But during hot and humid weather, you might need to blot your skin continuously, or probably just touch up continuously with a powder, so that it doesn't really make your skin look that oily. Because even with my combination to dry skin, I felt that my skin looked oily and tacky, and that made me a little bit uncomfortable because I kept touching over my face to feel the tackiness over my face area. So do I like this foundation? I do like this foundation. I personally feel that it wears beautifully on the skin. What I did not like about this foundation is the tackiness. I felt that the tackiness makes me feel uncomfortable. Would I recommend this foundation for brown skin girls? Can you find your shade range? Definitely yes. There are 42 shade range. Although the particular shade that I picked out kind of looks a little bit more deeper on my skin tone, but I really like it. I can still make it work with a brighter concealer just to brighten up certain areas of my face. So do I recommend this foundation for those of you who have combination to dry skin? I personally would recommend this foundation for those of you who have combination to dry skin, or even the dry skin girls, because this foundation would look really, really beautiful on you. I personally would say that make sure you set this foundation really, really well so that it can uphold on your skin even if you have combination to dry skin, and it will look really beautiful on you. Its claim is really true. The name of it, Pretty Fresh, is really true because it does look really fresh on the skin. And for those of you who are looking out for an affordable foundation, this is definitely a must try. So let me know if you guys have tried out other foundations from Colourpop, their tinted moisturizer. Definitely leave me down comment on the comment box below. So make sure you stay tuned for my upcoming videos. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. To my very next one. Goodbye.